Management Research. Hello and welcome to the Management Research podcast. I'm your host, Dr. Eugene. Hello and welcome to the next episode in my new podcast miniseries dedicated to well-being and how to establish well-being at your work using process management tools. And actually, originally it was the miniseries about burnout, but as people don't like the word burnout, I decided to change it to well-being because at the end it's just the opposite pole of burnout. And if you establish well-being, then you prevent burnout, hopefully. In this episode, we're going to talk about our book. Yevgen, Moormann and I wrote a book about burnout and process management prevention. The link to the book will be in the description of the episode, but before you buy it, ask your library, maybe they already have it, that you can save some money. For now, I want to start with the first chapter. Actually, it's the second chapter because the first chapter of the book is the introduction, but I think we can briefly just mention what the book is about. The book is about analyzing the situation in the organization using process management tools, but this time we want to look at a very specific type of defects. You know, with some tools in process management, we try to find defects in production. Now we try to find a defect in organization, and this defect is actually burnout or mental health issues. Burnout would be an extreme case of it. There are many other things like bore-out, absenteeism, high personnel turnover, and we try to find it out. So the book is written for practitioners and for those who are professionals in the field of business process management. They will learn how to apply the tools they already know to the certain situations at work. For those who are psychologists and are not familiar with the process management, we have a nice clean introduction to business process management history to explain the notion of organizing the work and process thinking. And then we teach them also what kind of tools they can easily apply to prevent burnout in an organization. We also have some important statements in our introduction. The first is that we are not psychologists and we're here not to treat burnout. If you already have the burnout state, you have to talk to a professional, those who really know how to find a way out. We are responsible for the organization of work, so we can help create processes that will not lead to burnout. At least the best goal would be to create an organization that is burnout-free by design. And in our book, we make the first attempt to describing what should be done at the site of process management in order to prevent appearance of different mental health issues. We also mention that this book is probably not for you if you are already in the state of burnout, just because whatever we write will be not so welcome, will be not so good. The reason is very simple. I used to have burnout when I used to work in one of the organizations, luckily many years before. In the recent years, I was very close to the situation, the state of burnout, and luckily, as we had a lot of work on it, I could identify it pretty early and could make some steps against it, and luckily didn't happen. But as I know what it means to be in the state of burnout, I can tell you whatever happened, I perceived in a very negative sense, negative way. Whatever good ideas I heard, I just didn't believe in them. You have this full disengagement and you lose your faith in your organization. You lose the faith in the words of people. You don't trust anybody. And it means that all the suggestions we give, if you are in the state of burnout, will be of less value, will be too skeptical, and skepticism and disengagement are the symptoms of burnout. So if you are there, I recommend you not to read this book and maybe even not to listen to this podcast. Wait a bit until it is over and then listen again, and you will find hopefully a lot of tools that will help you prevent the situation in future. And actually, this is more or less all about the introduction. Apart from the last point that we make, we ask people to use this book for practice, to make the notes on the fields of the book, to try it out, because we are academicians. We have a lot of ideas and we have done a lot of research, but sometimes we lack the practice. Sometimes it's worth it going into organization and make people do something. But as a professor, you not always have access to an organization, but you can try it out in your organization or in your family. And after we have done this introduction, we decided to move to the first chapter, and the first chapter is about a brief history of process management. See you in the next episode. All the best to you, good luck, and bye-bye.